Probably people who are thinking, how could you not know? And if you didn't know, should you have known?
I don't know how I could have known when there's 255 employees here.
Not in the way that Ellen's talking about, I think, but, you know, I said the day it came out, look at this, the Queen of Nice. In a couple of years, it's going to be the Queen of Lice, the Queen of Fried Rice, you know, the Queen of we don't like her anymore.
I mean, I really didn't understand it. I still don't understand it. It was too orchestrated. It was too coordinated.
Ellen DeGeneres, once one of the most beloved talk show hosts in Hollywood, has been exposed in ways no one saw coming.
After multiple allegations that it was a toxic place to work, 3 top producers have now, quote, parted ways. But the horror stories keep coming.
From shocking allegations about mistreating her staff to being named in Diddy's alleged dark dealings, her reputation has taken a terrifying nosedive.
But I could think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like, what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party, though.
Uh-huh.
No, it'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock.
So is this how Ellen really climbed to the top? Hollywood's best-kept secrets are finally being unraveled, and Ellen DeGeneres is at the center of it all. Let's dig into it. For years, Ellen DeGeneres was America's favorite talk show host. With her infectious smile, witty humor, and a reputation as Hollywood's Queen of Nice, she built an empire worth hundreds of millions. But behind the cheerful persona, an entirely different story was unfolding. One filled with allegations of toxicity, manipulation, and even disturbing ties to some of Hollywood's darkest dealings.
Expect a lot when you go to meet like your idol, and then when you get disappointed, it's like such a letdown.
While Ellen's brand revolved around kindness, multiple celebrities and former employees painted a very different picture. Stories of her cold and manipulative nature started surfacing years before the workplace scandal exploded. In 2018, YouTuber Nikki Tutorials revealed that her experience on Ellen's show was nothing short of disrespectful and unwelcoming, claiming she was treated differently than A-list guests.
To get this message across globally, and you, like no other, know what it's like to come out, and just thank you for this honor.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Dakota Johnson's viral 2019 interview on Ellen's show became infamous when Johnson called out Ellen for lying about not being invited to her birthday party.
I wasn't invited.
Actually, no, that's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited. Last time I was on the show, last year, you gave me a bunch of about not inviting you, but I didn't even.
And then comedian Kevin T. Porter even started a viral Twitter thread asking for stories about Ellen being mean, and the internet delivered. So Ellen's list of controversies is longer than a CVS receipt. Over the years, she's been accused of everything from mistreating her staff to rumors of controlling behavior towards Portia. It's been pretty messy, to say the least. When those rumors about Ellen's not-so-sunny demeanor behind the scenes started popping up, she got hit with a harsh reality check. Former staffers came forward, exposing a side of Ellen that didn't quite match the friendly, upbeat persona she projected on TV.
Liar, hypocrite. That's my reaction. She's known about this for 17 years. She's created this culture. I was there from day one.
But the real bombshell dropped in 2016 when Kathy Griffin spilled some serious tea in her memoir. While she didn't name Ellen directly, the clues were pretty obvious. Short blonde hair and a reputation for being, well, less than pleasant. It didn't take much for folks to connect the dots. The tension dates back to 2007 when Ellen threw some shade at Kathy during her monologue, leaving a sour taste in Kathy's mouth. As a fellow comedian, Kathy expected a little solidarity, but she definitely didn't get it from Ellen. Reflecting on her experience, Kathy said, "I am apparently not her cup of tea, but I think she is great. I am not a comedy snob." Griffin continued by praising the 61-year-old Ellen DeGeneres show host, adding, "I'm vulgar, but I think it's great there's clean comedians and prop comedians and topical comedians and observational comedians. I'm just happy whenever a female, especially a female over 50, is still in the game." In another interview, she said, "I had mentioned on your show that I wish that women would support each other more, in particular super influential women. I expressed that to her and she was like, I don't have to have anybody on my show I don't like." After Kathy came forward, people couldn't stop buzzing about Ellen and what she was really like behind the scenes. Fans did some serious digging into her past, and let's just say, the things they uncovered made her look even worse. One of the biggest revelations, what went down with Mariah Carey back in 2008. Ellen had Mariah on her show, but things quickly took a turn. True to form, Ellen couldn't resist diving into some juicy rumors about Mariah being pregnant. But instead of having a casual, friendly chat, it felt more like an interrogation. The tension in the air was palpable, and you could tell Mariah was caught off guard by Ellen's relentless questioning. It definitely didn't paint Ellen in a flattering light.
People are saying that that you're pregnant. There's rumors.
Don't discuss that.
All right, well, you don't have to
No,
answer.
that's okay. No, honestly,
you
how
don't
do
have
I-
to
how
answer
do
me.
I-
Let's just toast with champagne.
Things took a turn for the worse when Ellen handed Mariah a glass of champagne, practically forcing her to announce her pregnancy. Mariah had actually wanted to keep that news private, but in that moment, it felt like Ellen was more interested in the scoop than respecting her guests' wishes.
Have some champagne. It's just fattening. So,
You can
know.
have champagne?
That's not champagne because you can.
No,
The situation became even more heartbreaking when it was revealed that Mariah's pregnancy was high risk, and she eventually suffered a miscarriage a couple of months later. This is exactly why she wanted to keep her pregnancy private in the first place. Mariah was understandably upset with Ellen's actions during that interview. In a later interview, she expressed her feelings, saying, "I was extremely uncomfortable with that moment is all I can say, and I really have had a hard time grappling with the aftermath. I can't believe you did this to me, Ellen. This is peer pressure." She then pretended to take a sip, leading Degeneres to exclaim, "You're pregnant!" "I wasn't ready to tell anyone because I had had a miscarriage," Carey told Vulture. "I don't want to throw anyone that's already being thrown under any proverbial bus, but I didn't enjoy that moment." And we can't overlook Wendy Williams, who's had her fair share of beef with both Diddy and Ellen. Wendy and Diddy have always had some serious tension. According to reports, back when Wendy was working in radio, Diddy allegedly went to great lengths to get her fired because he wasn't thrilled with how she was spilling the tea on him and his shady dealings. Wendy wasn't one to hold back, and Diddy didn't take kindly to her exposing his drama.
There when he got rid of Wendy Williams.
Did he?
Yeah. When Puff made a phone call, this is his word verbatim.
But that's not all. Reports also suggested that Diddy was so desperate to keep his secrets buried that he allegedly ordered a hit on Wendy.
If that bitch is on the radio station when I get back in New York, ain't nobody that I deal with, nobody that I know are gonna ever do business with y'all again.
But that's not all either. Wendy had dirt on Diddy's down-low antics back when it was a major taboo in the rap game. She even had a pic of Diddy in a compromising situation with another dude. But aside from the allegations of Ellen's mean-spirited behavior, there are reports linking her to some seriously shady activities, like the mysterious death of her ex-girlfriend. Yeah, things just got insanely messy. For those who might not know, Anne was an actress who dated Ellen back in the late 90s, making them one of the world's first gay super couples. At that time, not many people in Hollywood were open about their sexuality, so Ellen and Anne were pretty groundbreaking. Fast forward to a bombshell revelation in 2021 when Anne opened up on her podcast about how Ellen allegedly tried to have her institutionalized and blacklisted in Hollywood. This kind of behavior echoed what had happened to many other big names in the industry, like Britney Spears, and it almost happened to Kanye West, who Diddy has been linked to. But this situation was even shadier. A year after Anne made those wild revelations on her podcast, she tragically passed away in a freak car accident when she wasn't impaired, raising some serious red flags. It kind of reminds us of what happened to Diddy's ex, Kim Porter. But then we have to bring Twitch into the mix and his tragic passing. Looking back at everything we know now, it seems like there are a lot of lies and inconsistencies in the stories we've been told. New evidence has surfaced, and there are growing allegations that Ellen and Diddy might have had a role to play in his death because Twitch knew more than he should have. Allegedly, they wasted no time silencing him for good.
What would you say to Twitch? Like, what has he meant to you?
The new evidence also suggests that Ellen may have been a regular at Diddy's parties, especially the more questionable ones. That's interesting, but honestly, not that surprising. Let's be real, we've all heard about the major celebs who've been exposed for attending Diddy's infamous freak-offs and parties. But when it comes to Ellen, things go even deeper and darker. Word on the street is that there are some damaging tapes of Ellen getting involved in some downright sinister activities with escorts that Diddy allegedly hired. Rumor has it that Ellen tried to pull Twitch into these freaky events, but he wasn't having it. Unfortunately, what he didn't seem to realize is that turning down those kinds of offers isn't really an option if you want to stay breathing. Just days after allegedly rejecting Ellen's proposition, Twitch turned up dead under mysterious circumstances. Coincidence? Many don't think so.
To be quite, yeah, it's a constant conversation.
Again, this just looks really weird, and the next person on that conspiracy theory list was Ellen DeGeneres.
Do that. Over a decade ago, I met someone who changed my life and our show. And I'm talking about you, Twitch. Come here.
Twitch went from making adorable family videos to suddenly taking his own life within a matter of days, and the whole situation is just mind-boggling. It was a heartbreaking twist when it was revealed that DJ Twitch's passing wasn't just sudden. He tragically took his own life using a firearm. According to TMZ, he left his home in LA without his car and checked into a motel about a mile away from his family. Staff at the motel where Twitch stayed reported that he didn't seem distressed when he checked in and only booked the room for one night. There were no signs of anything unusual, no strange behavior, no loud noises, not even a gunshot. It just raises so many questions about what really happened. It wasn't until Tuesday, when Twitch missed his checkout time, that the staff went to his room to check on him and tragically discovered him in the bathroom with gunshot wounds. On the same day, his wife, Anne Heche, went to a police station to report him missing. She was understandably frantic and deeply concerned, explaining to the police how unusual it was for him to leave without any communication or indication of where he had gone. With Twitch not taking his car and ignoring calls, Allison's worry escalated, prompting the officers to consider listing him as a critical missing persons case. Sadly, just after Allison reported him missing, a 911 call came in requesting paramedics from the hotel. When the paramedics arrived, they pronounced Twitch dead at the scene. Unfortunately, there was nothing that could be done because he had already passed away before anyone even arrived. His wife, Allison, then released a statement saying, "It is with the heaviest of hearts that I have to share my husband Stephen has left us," she told E! At the time. Stephen lit up every room he stepped into. He valued family, friends, and community above all else, and leading with love and light was everything to him. He was the backbone of our family, the best husband and father, and an inspiration to his fans. She continued, "To say he left a legacy would be an understatement, and his positive impact will continue to be felt. I am certain there won't be a day that goes by that we won't honor his memory. We ask for privacy during this difficult time for myself and especially for our 3 children. Stephen, we love you, we miss you, and I will always save the last dance for you." Ellen also released a statement talking about how heartbroken she was, saying, "I'm heartbroken. Twitch was pure love and light," she wrote on Instagram. "He was my family, and I loved him with all my heart. I will miss him. Please send your love and support to Allison and his beautiful children, Wesley, Maddox, and Zaya." There are so many shady circumstances surrounding Twitch's passing that it's hard to ignore the suspicions. One of the biggest questions is about the note he was reportedly said to have written right before taking his life. Multiple sources initially reported that Twitch had left a note, but then suddenly, the media stopped talking about it as if it had disappeared altogether. This raised even more suspicion.
Few clues, at least, about what he was going through in a note that was found in the motel where he killed himself.
Then the speculation around Ellen's friendship with Diddy is only getting worse, with some suggesting that Twitch might have been caught up in some serious blackmail schemes. While there's no concrete evidence linking Twitch directly to Diddy, the fact that he was part of Ellen's inner circle for nearly a decade definitely raises eyebrows. Ellen and Diddy go way back, and for the longest time, people just assumed they were industry buddies, nothing more. But fans started catching on when Ellen low-key distanced herself as soon as Diddy's legal mess hit the fan. Suddenly, she was acting like she didn't even know the guy. That whole never met him vibe didn't sit right with the feds, so they started digging around. And guess what? They found some serious dirt. Turns out, Ellen allegedly helped Diddy cover up some wild stuff.
No, I mean the after party.
No, I know about them. I'll listen to the music. I've heard that song, After Party.
Diddy's been on Ellen's show a bunch of times, and he's always been the one sending her invites to his events. Remember that one time Ellen straight up asked him about the invite to his birthday party? Diddy swore he sent it, but according to him, she just never showed up. At least that's the story he's sticking to.
Hey, so tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up to.
No. Here's where things get real interesting. Rumors started swirling that Ellen had been going to Diddy's parties, but not the kind you'd see on her talk show. During an interview, Diddy even hinted at a whole different kind of party scene that kicked off after hours. And Ellen? She played it cool, laughing along like it was all just a joke. But as they say, there's usually a grain of truth in every laugh. Then came the viral paparazzi footage that had everyone talking. The paparazzi caught Ellen off guard and pressed her about the rumors surrounding Diddy. Saying she looked rattled would be an understatement. She was clearly thrown off. Fans couldn't help but wonder why the mere mention of Diddy's name had her so spooked. The reporter wasn't holding back either. They hit her with a bombshell question, asking if she was surprised by the allegations against Diddy. That's when things started looking super suspicious. Ellen stumbled over her words and seemed desperate to end the conversation. Something was definitely off about the whole thing. And if the rumors are to be believed, Ellen wasn't just a guest at Diddy's events. She was part of the exclusive after-hours crowd. Even in a past interview, when Diddy joked about a secret party happening late at night, Ellen jumped in on the joke way too smoothly.
Think of you of starting a party at like midnight. Like what time will it go till?
That's a different type of party, though.
Uh-huh.
No, it'll go from like 9:30 to like maybe 3 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then, you know, we have the top 2 floors of the hotel.
Mm-hmm. And then it will carry on there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then no, I mean,
What really raised eyebrows was this video of the paparazzi grilling Ellen about her friendship with Diddy. And y'all, when we say Ellen was shook, we mean shook. The moment they hit her with those questions, she immediately panicked. It was super weird. Like, why was she so freaked out over just hearing Diddy's name? The way she reacted had people seriously wondering if there's more to their connection than what we've been told. Because, let's be real, nobody acts that rattled unless there's something they're trying real hard to hide.
Ellen, were you surprised by the allegations about P. Diddy? Did that surprise you about P. Diddy? He's been on your show.
Fans have been flexing their detective skills, diving deep into the connection between Diddy and Ellen. And trust me, they're digging up some seriously juicy details. It turns out these two might have more in common than you'd think. While Ellen hasn't faced the same legal troubles as Diddy, she's definitely not without her own controversies. Now let's talk about the eerie parallels between Ellen and Diddy. Both figures have faced serious allegations of problematic behavior, whether it's Ellen's alleged mistreatment of staff or Diddy's rumored involvement in dark dealings. Their connections to various scandals and controversies only add to the intrigue, leading fans and followers to speculate about a possible web of connections that might go deeper than anyone realizes. Could these two have more in common than we initially thought? As details emerge, it seems the layers of this story keep peeling back, revealing a darker narrative lurking beneath the surface. They seem to have more in common than one might expect, from the rumors of Ellen attending Diddy's notorious parties to whispers about a shady industry cult that both may have been involved in. It's a wild ride, to say the least. Could Twitch have stumbled upon something he wasn't supposed to know about these two? It's starting to feel like a conspiracy that's too messy to be a coincidence.
Note made references to challenges from his past, and again, it's vague.
You probably heard the whispers about Ellen's rumored harsh treatment of her staff, but it's more than just gossip. There's a long list of complaints that paint a pretty dark picture of how Ellen managed both her home and her workplace. Sources say Ellen ran her household like a strict drill sergeant with no room for mistakes. Former housekeepers described her as a tyrant who would fire people for the smallest offenses. Some claim she even created a list detailing every little thing her staff did wrong, from serving food in the wrong bowl to not frothing her latte perfectly. My belief is that someone's real personality comes out at home, the unnamed ex-staffer reportedly said. So after everything that has been said about her at work, you can imagine how terrible Ellen is going to be at home when her guard is down. It gets even wilder. Ellen reportedly set traps around her mansion, like hiding matches behind cupboard doors, to test if her cleaners were paying attention. If they missed the matches, it could cost them their job. But it wasn't just cleaners who faced her wrath. Handymen and security guards who dared step into her space experienced constant criticism and condescension. One former staffer didn't hold back, calling Ellen the worst person they ever encountered, and claiming she actually seemed to enjoy firing people. And if you thought the chaos was limited to her personal life, think again. Things were just as toxic behind the scenes on the Ellen Degeneres show. In 2020, BuzzFeed News dropped a bombshell report with testimonies from 10 former staffers, confirming what many had suspected for years. The workplace was toxic. Employees were reportedly fired for trivial reasons like taking sick leave or attending family funerals.
Like an effective PR spin. It was perfectly done, but I think that that's exactly what Ellen needed.
The stories only get darker. Reports of racism running rampant behind the scenes of the Ellen DeGeneres show added another disturbing layer. Ellen was allegedly aware of the discrimination, but failed to take action. Former DJ Tony Okungboa even stepped forward, sharing his personal experience of the show's toxic environment. His statement aligned with many others who described Ellen's behind-the-scenes behavior as the polar opposite of the kindness she preached on air. What's most surprising, though, is the eerie silence from Ellen's celebrity friends during the height of her scandal. While staffers were speaking out, not a single prominent friend came forward to defend or condemn her. It's wild to think that someone who championed love and compassion could harbor such toxicity beneath the surface. Ellen has long branded herself as an animal lover, but some reports suggest otherwise. In 2009, she faced major backlash after she gave away a dog she adopted from a rescue shelter, violating the shelter's rules. The situation spiraled out of control when the shelter accused Ellen of misleading them, leading to a nasty public feud.
Look at this. They always eat on their knees like this.
Well, how come they haven't evolved to shorten their front legs then? Or they couldn't run as fast, maybe?
Exactly. That's a good question.
Okay.
Additionally, critics have pointed out how Ellen has profited from corporations that exploit animals, calling her so-called activism performative rather than genuine. Following the 2020 workplace scandal, the Ellen DeGeneres show suffered a massive ratings decline. Public perception had shifted. People were no longer buying her nice image. By 2021, it was announced that the show would end after 19 seasons. While Ellen claimed she was leaving on her own terms, industry insiders whispered that the network was desperate to cut ties before further damage could be done.
This show has been the greatest experience of my life, and I owe it all to you.
In one of her final interviews, she played the victim, blaming orchestrated attacks on her downfall, rather than acknowledging the real reasons people turned against her. Even after her show ended, Ellen's reputation has continued to crumble. More individuals have stepped forward to reveal their alleged negative experiences with her, painting a picture of someone who built an empire on manipulation and deception.
They tell you, you can't be smarter, funnier than Ellen. She's the comedian and the star, not you.
Former employees have claimed that Ellen had a habit of throwing tantrums over minor issues. What seemed like trivial matters to others could reportedly set her off, leading to tense and uncomfortable working conditions. Some staff members described feeling constantly on edge, never knowing what might trigger an outburst. Fans have also taken notice of Ellen's friendships with controversial figures, including those accused of abuse and exploitation. Over time, these associations have raised eyebrows, leading to further scrutiny of her character and the values she upheld behind the scenes. While Ellen maintained a bubbly and compassionate persona on screen, her connection suggested a different reality. Ellen DeGeneres once seemed untouchable, but the past few years have exposed the cracks in her carefully polished image. Whether it was the toxic workplace culture, her personal behavior, or her alleged connections to Hollywood's darkest secrets, one thing is clear: Ellen's legacy has been permanently stained. Will she ever return to the spotlight, or has her true nature finally been revealed for good? Only time will tell. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.